Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm here to show you 3 different examples of something to do with your stencils today. I've kind of been on a stencil buying kick recently. Heads up, you'll probably see a lot of stencils in my cards and in these videos for the next little while. Because I'm acquiring all of these fun new stencils, I'm looking for ways to use them. And this is just one of the techniques that I've seen done that I thought would be really fun to show you guys today. I'm going to be showing you 3 different ways to do Emboss Resist with your stencil images. So I'm going to walk you through a metallic embossing. I'm going to walk you through using clear embossing powder, and with the clear I'm actually going to show you how to do that with watercolor and also with ink blending. So I hope that gives you guys some ideas. Let's get into it. The first card I'm working on is the one with the heart shape. So I've taken one of the dies from the Nested Hearts die set from Simon Says Stamp and used it to cut out the shape out of some masking paper. This masking paper is from Simon Says Stamp, and it is cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so it's the exact size of my finished card. And so I positioned that heart exactly where I wanted it on the final card. I'm now going to place the mask on top of some cardstock. This is Nina Classic Crest Solar White 80-pound cardstock, and I'm very carefully placing this heart mask over the cardstock here, and I'm adhering just one side of it first and then wrapping it around and adhering the other side. The way I've cut that mask is it has the release paper on the back, and the release paper is actually cut into different strips, so it makes it easy to apply to your project. So now I'm going to get into the actual stenciling part. So I'm going to put down my Tonic Easy Clean mat, and this is going to not only protect my work surface, but it also gives me a slick surface that I can clean the ink off of really easily. I'm taping my paper down to my work surface here. You could also tape it to your stencil, and I'll show that in the second example. I'm using the Bold Blooms stencil from Newton's Nook. This is a great stencil because it has some nice wide areas that are open, but there's also a lot of areas in between those images for some blending to happen. So I've taped down the stencil as well, and now I'm going to take some Versamark ink. You can use whatever embossing ink that you prefer. I just really like to use Versamark because it's very sticky and it stays sticky for a little bit of time, so you don't have to rush when it comes to applying your embossing powder. So I'm kind of squishing it down over the stencil and giving it a little wiggle, and that makes sure that it gets all the way into those crevices in that stencil. So I've removed that stencil. I'm going to take this off my work surface here. The mask is staying there. The mask is not going to move till after I'm done blending. So I'm going to be doing my heat embossing over the top. This is some clear embossing powder from Ranger. I'm just sprinkling that on over all of this heart area. You can kind of see it when I tip it in the light. Then I took my heat tool and I melted the embossing powder until it was smooth and shiny. Sometimes with clear embossing powder, especially on top of white cardstock, it's really hard to see. So just tip it in the light, and when it turns shiny, you know it's been melted. I'm going to use some different colors from this 2018 add-on of mini ink cubes from Gina K Designs. I'm only going to be using the colors that are in the set, so I'll have the set linked down below in the supply section. Starting out with the color Sea Glass, and I'm using some life-changing blender brushes from Picket Fences Studio, and I'm blending that on here right at the bottom. I'm going to keep all this blending in real time, but I will speed it up for the other card that I have blending on. But I just wanted you to see about how long it takes to really blend and get these colors moving. I'm now using a Plum Punch, and I'm making sure I overlap those areas. You can see where that embossing powder was applied. It's resisting the color. You get a little bit of a faint kind of ghosting of the color, like really pale purple going over this. But for the most part, it resists that ink completely. I'm now using Coral Reef.